He took interest to the highest level ever, you know, on every nation on earth. I don't think you could ever deny that. As I got into the research, you know what I discovered, Diane? Michael Jordan sold all of our tickets. He sold all of our jerseys and hats. He sold the TV ratings. He sold the international aspects of the game. He did all of that. I don't think we understood. Michael Jordan, as it turns out, in my opinion, was the most underrated player of all time. And you would say, underrated?
Yes, I would.
but I don't. None of us realized. I didn't. That he sold everything. I mean, he took the game, the entire sport, up on his back, and just vaulted it to the highest level imaginable. And I'm not minimizing, you know, the league office in New York and all the marketing people, but we were deluded. Michael was doing it all himself, and we just rode his coattails.
Go back with me, if you would, to my favorite era in basketball, and that was the Bird Magic matchup. At that time, the NBA was in terrible shape, as I recall. There were drug problems. You were watching games on rerun. It was principally black. That was not good for advertisers. At least they perceived that it wasn't good. Then all of a sudden, we had all this focus on Bird and Magic and their matchup. How did that change basketball? It certainly brought it back to the front pages of the newspaper.
Oh, it was perfect. You know, if you were sitting in Madison Avenue and trying to design this wonderful, wonderful scenario to change the face of a sport, I mean, you couldn't invent this, could you?
No.
I mean, here's Larry Bird from French Lick, Indiana, you know, hayseed kind of a guy, and we're going to put him in Boston, the old standby city of hoops. And here's this kid from Lansing, Michigan, radiant, smiling, ebullient, you know, and we're going to plop him down out here in the land of the stars, Hollywood, you know. So let's plan to put him here. I mean, can't you see the marketing people in New York working on this plan? and you'd be saying, this could never happen. Well, it did. And Larry Bird was New England, and Michael and Magic was Southern California,
LA.
Yeah. And right in the middle of this, not too long thereafter, 4 years later, 5 years later, here comes Michael Jordan. And we're going to plop him right down here in the city of the big shoulders, you know, right there. And this is where he's going to be. Oh, boy. And David Stern came along at this point and just rode that baby. Oh, I mean, he was just...
Still riding it.
Still riding it, but he was whipping that horse, you know, with this perfect setup. So, and I understand, and they both were great passers. These two guys were great passers.
They were the ultimate team players,
Sure.
Yet they were marketed as individuals. And that's what helped the NBA so much.
Oh, I mean, you couldn't go back, as I said, Diane, and create that.
This excerpt is brought to you by the Massachusetts School of Law, the leader of reform in legal education and a leader in multimedia education for the public. To view the full interview and for a full listing of MSL's programs, log on to mslaw.edu.